So our next presentation will be from Mehmet Keyvan, CEO of Keyvan Aviation, who will talk about how we can achieve aviation sustainability development goals through data and analytics. So Mehmet, over to you.
So hello everyone, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm sharing my screen. So let me make sure that you have my screen. So I think my screen is now live.
Yep, got it. Thanks.
So perfect. My name is Mehmet. I'm the CEO of the Keyvan Aviation. Just to explain some about our company. Keyvan Aviation is a EASA Type 1 DAT provider certified company from Turkey, based in headquarters in Istanbul. And we are offering the data collected from 195 countries around the world to the avionic manufacturer, which is they are considered as the main customer of our databases to produce aeronautical navigation database used for the aircraft navigational system. Also, we are using our data to improve the operation, also together supporting the authorities and airlines and airports to analyze the performance and route and decide for the better airspace management or designing the new airport approach or takeoff procedures, totally airport procedures. So these are some of our activity that we are carrying out day by day, and we are trying to keep our negotiation close with the authorities and stakeholders in different countries, variety of countries, because of our currently covering global databases. We are almost in a communication with, let's say, all of countries, but rather than the only authorities and state regulatories, we are interested to keep this communication very close with the airports and also users as well. So as you are all aware about the situation, today's discussion is about sustainability development. But a part of this sustainability development, I would like to take a look on the net zero goal that announced by the IATA. Of course, all of you, it's aware about this announcement. So I'm just quickly reviewing that major part of this goal. It's belong to sustainable aviation fuel, which currently, based on the numbers that we collected from a variety of the sources into 2021, it's somewhere around 100 million liters. But in 2022, it's reached to 300 million liters of the production, and 450,000 flights use this sustainable aviation fuel for their flight. But rather than 65% that we're considering as a net zero goal to be dedicated for the sustainable aviation fuel, there is another small portion of 13%. It's looked on a new technology, which is talking about electric or different method of the flying. Some around 3% look on the infrastructure and operational efficiencies, and also 19%, it's about offset and carbon captures. But unfortunately, still we are aware that the number of the usage of the producing the carbon is increasing. And today, when we are looking at the references, we saw that in some around 27,500 airports is listed in our databases. Only 63 airports globally offering the sustainable fuel. So this gives us the how big development required to be carried out and handled by the government, authority, and airport management system to make sure that 2015 we will reach to the net zero goal based on the huge differences between the total airport currently offering the sustainable fuel and the airport need to offer the sustainable fuel. Of course, 27,500, it's total airport included with the smallest airport, which may not use the sustainable fuel in the future. But still, the 10% of this number is dedicated to the big airports in the countries, and it's far away from 63 airports, which totally offering, as of today, sustainable fuel to the airlines. And what we can see, it's less than 0.1% of the global fuel consumption. Apart from this production and delivery of the sustainable fuel, as you can see, the jumping in the aviation global carbon emission generated and produced by aviation is significantly high, and it's still growing. There was a financial crisis in 2008, and there was a COVID period in 2020 to 2022, which reduced somehow a portion of this. But after the COVID, the jump in the number of the flight, it's will increase again the carbon which we are every day generating for the aviation from the aviation for the environment. So it's a question is that, okay, shall we wait for sustainable fuel for 2050 to remaining airport to be equipped, or still at the 30% and another 3% we can do something to keep our way more cleaner, more greener and sustainable? So in our company, with access to the lots of data we are collecting from the globally every 28 days. Of course, this is the aeronautical data, but considering the movement data that we are also adding to our databases, we understand that there are somehow in 567 airports reviewed by Eurocontrol in their reporting for the 2021, it's around 5 minutes for any taxi in averagely and 10 minutes for a taxi out, 10 minute 0.61 for taxi out time is calculated for average flight. And when we consider that on the ground taxiing time, some around 23.3 kilo fuel it's used, and the CO, some around 73.4 is generated by an aircraft, will reach to the huge number that we can think about it before waiting for the sustainable fuel. Why we think about this? You can see this photo. As you can see, the highway, it's quite free. It's not very free, but it's quite considerable. Moving, it's on the way. But as you can see, the small junction, small street, which link to the highway, they are blocked by the car. So this is the point that we think about it, and we consider how we could reduce this waiting time, taxi time. And it's not only in the ground, we should consider all airport procedures as well. So just before entering to the solution that we are offering to the airport industry, I would like to share the numbers. Then you can agree with me that the numbers is growing significantly when we consider small changes into the approach to gate or gate to the airways. So our mindset is that the airport it's not that crowded because we are implementing RVSM and different scenarios for the airways. But still, when you leave the airways, you are stuck in somehow in a holding or waiting time to land in some airport. Then you stuck in the taxiway or need more taxi time to reach to the gate. So airways to the gate, and in the reverse scenario, gate to the airways means that when you leave the gate, up to reach to the runway, and after that use efficient SID procedure to reach to the airways, it somehow it could consider as a package to reduce your operational time before reaching to the airways or after leaving the airways to the gate. So we consider an airport in our home base, Istanbul Airport, with code of LTFM. This airport, as of today, they have around 1,300 transactions per day. So we consider as a 1,000 daily transaction as averagely. And we look on that 1 minute saving per flight, which for Istanbul Airport, it's averagely, it's a 15-minute listed by Eurocontrol, but it's increasable up to 25 minutes due to heavy traffic carried out in Istanbul airport. But in some Chinese airport also, we look on a 20 up to averagely 26 minutes for the taxi out time. So 1 minute, it's not look too much per flight, but when we times to 1,000 transaction a day, we are looking for 1,000 minutes a day. And this times to 23 kilo of the fuel using during the taxi as a reference base, it comes to 23,000 kilo daily fuel saving, which comes to 690 kilo monthly. And if you consider Jet A1 fuel as somehow less than $1, we are saving around 500,000 USD. And in terms of the carbon emission, as you can see, we can save in a month somewhere around 2,202 kilograms, 1,000 kilograms of CO2. So this is something that is considerable in our solution. And these are some airports that I'm sharing. As you can see, that we have Mexico City with 25 minutes after taxi time. Also, we have Shanghai Airport with 26,000 minutes after taxi time. So these are the important numbers that we should keep in mind. And in our list, we consider only airports which the taxi time is the average taxi time is more than 15 minutes. So what is the solution that we are offering to the market is that I'm jumping because of my time is limited, so I don't want to take more time. The software that we are offering, which we name it as a airport performance measurement and management tools. This software, it's able to consider all the procedures of the airport, which comes from the airways when you started the descent up to parking into the gate, and from the gate after taxi runway and until you leave the SID procedures. So when you can see your airport in one look, in this information, you can collect the arrival and departure, you can see the occupancy of the runways, and you can see the occupancy of the gate. So you can easily introduce a NOTAM of the closure for any gate or taxiway, and our system in the section of the reporting will help you to generate a report that when you close any gate or any taxiway, how it's affected your total operation time. So if I close some taxiway, this definitely will put some heavy traffic in another taxiway. So the system is able to calculate this information for the operator or airport management. The system is capable to help you to calculate the performance of each airport procedure. So you are able at the end of the day, you can generate the report monthly, daily, weekly, or any time lapse that you are expecting to see that which procedure is used more and the gap or waiting time is in which procedure it's look too much, and you should decide to add some more procedures or redesign your procedure, or if you had a plan for some maintenance or closure in your taxiway or runway based on the proof of the landing performance of the airplane and the heavy plan of your airport, you can decide and you can manage timely to choose the right time for the closure or the issuing the NOTAM. So this information also included with some suggestion for the airline behavior, which give you an option that review the certain level of the airplanes, for example, Airbus 320 landing time and exit from the runway to the taxiways. So you can review either by airline or either by the airplane types to make sure that you are catch the performance that you are expecting and totally not affected your performance of a whole operation. So the aim of this system is that help you to reduce 1 minute at least minimum wise from your operational timeline and taxi time, starting from approach to the gate and from the gate to the airways as well. So the company is proud that we have working with lots of authorities and organizations around the world, and proudly is we are a business partner to the ACI. I wish to finalize my presentation because of the time. I'll leave the table to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mehmet, for this fascinating presentation. So yet again, any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll relay them to Mehmet. Again, in the meantime, while waiting for any questions from the audience, I'll fire ahead myself. So Mehmet, you talked about how the system can analyze on the airport itself. Is it possible to integrate with en route data as well, so to give the full gate-to-gate performance as well?
The system by itself, it's capable because we are using the data it produced in-house, and this is the trustable data because the system, it's audited by EASA and approved by EASA. So the baseline of the data, it's a trustable, usable data, and we already have all airways information, either for the restrictive, so we can include everything inside the data. And just the signal is a matter. So we are working with the ADSB providers, also in the ground line with the airports, to make sure that we receive the accurate signal to be traced. The reason that as of today in my presentation, we didn't talk about the airway side is that lots of authorities like Eurocontrols and different countries' authorities, they are already caring about the airway side, so upper level. So for this reason, we think that it's not very competitive, and it's something that they already done lots of project in CESAR and also European authorities, and in Green Sky project, Green Aviation, project, in terms to make sure that the airways is sustainable. So we look on the highway, entry to the highway. So this was the reason that we put more focus in this section. But the system totally and data-wise and infrastructure, it's capable for this.
Excellent, thank you. And in terms of where can it go from here, we talk a lot about AI and the possibilities it could offer. Is there scope to introduce an AI element into your tool as well?
Yes, the tools comes in three different sections. So one section is used for the viewer section. You can use it in any operational OCC departments in a big, let's say, screens to see the airport diagram and the status of the airport live. So you have moving map in the live that you can see all traffic moving in your airport. This is a part of our package as a panel 1. In panel 2, we have the operator panel, which they can introduce a closure to the gate or closure to the taxiway or issue and temporary NOTAM, which immediately affected to all users, and they will aware by signals and the information on their screen that there is some closure announced by the users. Other than this, everything will live affected. So when an airplane parked in some gate, the information will shows in all screens that this gate is occupied. So this is a part of the system. And third panel, it's a reporting and advisory panel. In reporting, you can generate any kind of report about the measurement of that you are expecting, started from the runway or procedures, airport procedure up to taxiway and the gate. And you can get advice that how you can manage whether the like a more shorter taxiway decision, or during the closure, how you can manage. So the advisory part of the AI, it's also take a place in the third panel as well.
Brilliant, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Mehmet at this stage? If not, I guess one last one from myself. Obviously, we're here to talk about airports and the airport industry and improving airport operational performance, but are airlines given access as well? Can airlines be part of this too?
This is the quite good solution for the airlines operational centers as well, so they can review their operation performance and they can discuss with the airport authorities and the management to reduce the timing based on their decisions and flight planning system. So they have a flight plan system, but this kind of route analysis in terms of the airport procedure and the ground movement will help airline also to take a benefit from the data and reduce their operational cost. At the end of the day, the sustainability rather than carbon and also environment, when the airlines want to offer a better ticket price to the people, it's also made more happy passengers. So offering better ticket price means that they should reduce their cost to be able them to offer the better pricing. And this is a portion of also suggesting them a better cost management.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mehmet.